looks super old. You can tell like they got the old wax on the top here. So that's the one I'm gonna look down and see if we can get a good age on it too here so you guys can see it better. We got a Jim Beam single barrel. I have not seen a box like this before though. Okay, I think I might have found the hidden gem in the store. Welcome to the Bourbon Retriever. My name is Chris, and today we are hunting in the beautiful city of Rome, Italy. I did a hunting video here probably about a year ago. Did decently well. We got a Buffalo Trace 80 proofer and a Wild Turkey, I think 101 or 86, one of those from like 2013. Let's see if we can beat that today. I got a couple more recommendations of places from my post, so let's go and see what we can find. Okay, first stop here on our trip is going to be at Burnaby Liquors. We're on the south side of Italy, kind of below the Colosseum. But let's go ahead and see what they got. I see some tequila here, but hopefully they got some bourbon. All right, let's see if we can find the bourbon. I think I might have found it already. Here we go. Let's go. All right, what do we got here? We got some Bullet 10, Eagle Rare. That's a cool find. 46 euro. You have about a 10% markup from America. 90 proof, same proof, but you got right here. If you can't get it in America, Woodford. We got some Buffalo Trace here, 25 euros. This is, 80 proof. So in the United States, that's a 90 proofer. But here, internationally, they do it 80 proof. That's because of taxes. You're taxed on how much alcohol is in there. So it's cheaper to send over lower proof whiskey than higher proof whiskey. So it's also a little bit of a distinguishing factor. Makes people buy it when they come over here. I did last time. We got a Jim Beam single barrel. I have not seen a box like this before though. I wonder if this is anything that is of significance. But that's a cool box. And that Jim Beam single barrel, just to kind of see what it looks like. It comes in a nice little bag here. It says single barrel on it with some type of barrel number. It comes in 95 proof. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. This has to be some type of either international exclusive or an older bottles. And then I've never seen this before. 12 years old. Jim Beam Signature Craft. What's this? This is going to be the $40 one. That is pretty cool. We got coming in at 86 proof. See if we can get a color on this. It's pretty clear. So that scares me a little bit for a 12-year product. But that's really cool to see a 12-year-old because Jim Beam was like Booker's, it's not even that old. Knob Creek 12s are that old, but you don't see many Jim Beam products that are that old, especially under the Jim Beam name label. But let's go ahead and jump in here and see if anything else catches my eye. We got some little Jim Beam Rye, standard Four Roses. Let's see here, Knob Creeks, Bullets, Larceny Few, more Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels is definitely the most prominent bottle you see here. Got a cool box here for the just normal Jumbo 7 that comes in a box to make it look cooler. But Jack Daniels definitely seems to have a monopoly on the international market, especially here in Italy. It is by far the most products I see. If a store has one bottle, it's going to be a Jack number 7. And stores that have multiple bottles, they're going to have like 5 to 6 SKUs. Got some Woodford Gene down here, Angel's Envy, all the Michter's standard stuff. A little expensive, but this is the first time I've seen all 4 of them here in Italy. And then you got some Wild Turkey. None of these labels look that old. They're definitely older than the current labels, but I don't think any of these are considered dusty type labels. And then they definitely have a decent Scotch selection here. I do wish I liked Scotches more because I think that's probably what you're gonna find better values of here in the EU if you come hunting. I recognize a couple of these brands. Like you have, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, but Kirkland. I know that's a popular brand to get, along with Artbegs. They're one of the higher proof whiskeys, scotches that come out. But I'm sure there are some scotches in here that I am just not capturing correctly. Okay, I think I found their slightly more expensive section. I don't see any bourbon in here. They have a couple other stuff. Got some scotches up there, some Macallans, some Artbegs, some really old scotches. And in this bottle, I cannot quite figure out what it is. It looks ancient and absolutely looks dark, but I just do not see any like age statement. I don't see even like a whiskey name on it, like what type of liquor it is, but that thing looks ancient. And you got some Armagnac, I couldn't see an age on this one, what year it was made. I guess it's selection 20 ANS, but I don't see like what year that bottle is from. But those old Armagnacs can be pretty good. Belvany, 25 years old, like just an absolutely ancient scotches. Okay, I think I might have found the hidden gem in the store. It's an Armagnac, like I was talking about earlier in the glass case, but this is coming from 1990, which is the year that I was born. Only 86 euros, discounted. This might be a bottle that I end up walking out of here with, because that is really cool. Definitely seen its age here. A little bit of dust on the wax. Wax is falling apart a little bit. Even the wood medallion here is kind of cracked. But seeing whiskey that was distilled the year I was born is pretty cool, even if it has an Armagnac. It is only bottle 558 of 611. I don't know how rare these bottles are, if they're small batches, but 611 seems really small. Okay, so I ended up not getting the Armagnac. I've had them before. I had them at Jack Rose when they had their event there. I had a bunch of old Armagnacs from even when I was born. And to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan. I don't necessarily think it's really worth the price. It is a cool thing being that old, but I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it that much. So I'm gonna hold off. I might come back and get it though, depending on the rest of our trip here. Keeping in mind if it's something that's worth the suitcase space. So now these liquor stores are very far apart here in Rome, the ones that we are going to. So I'm gonna be taking this bird to the different liquor stores in this wild downtown Roman Empire that we are going through. If you think I should be risking my life getting to these liquor stores on this contraption, hit the subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. I think there is a good chance that I will be losing a limb, getting some type of flesh wound on this thing. So it'd mean a lot to me if you hit the subscribe button. Let's go on to the next store and see if we can find something. Okay, we are on to stop number 2. Probably gonna mispronounce this one also, Enoteca something, but this was the best spot that we had on our last hunt. This is where we got the Buffalo Trace and the old wild turkey. So let's go in there and see if we can find any more gems, either that we missed or maybe the new things they've added on the shelf. Here's the Bourbon section from last time. A lot of the same stuff here. Let's see here. Here's the Italian whiskey that I passed on last time. $75 is a lot of money for Italian whiskey that, if my memory is right, it's pretty young. You can see how clear that is. Got the Russell's 10. Granddad. Here's the Buffalo Trace, 28 bucks. Got some Overold, older turkey label. The last place we're at, Rittenhouse, Lot B. Or not Lot B. I wish it was Lot B. Lot 40. Half Creek Rye. That's a good rye. If you have not had that rye, definitely go get it. That's a good shelf stable rye for someone who maybe don't like rye. It is a very bourbon forward rye, and it's a rye that I would recommend all people to try. You got Bullet hiding in there, some Elijah Craig makers, Knob. Here's Eagle Rare. Another good find there. Buffalo Bill. I have no idea what that means, but you got Buffalo here. 3 years old. That's gonna be a hard pass on that Buffalo Bill, but don't take it for granted how much Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace I'm finding. This is very irregular. Like, I've been in like 10 different places before I went to these two, and they didn't have any of it. So the fact I saw them back-to-back places, I think that is super lucky. And it is hot here in Italy. I'm taking a lime between all these different places, but I am still sweating my butt off a little bit here. July is not the best month to come to Rome. If you're coming, definitely come in the shoulder seasons. Much more weather temperature appropriate. More Jack, their flavored stuff. West Corn. That's kind of a cool label. It's pretty light. But I think it's just typical Scotch. Is that light? Got some more Jack Daniels, Traditional 7. I've never seen this before. It's like a lunch pail type thing. That is kind of cool. Never seen that. Anything hiding back here? Looks like some type of Crown Royal maybe back there. There's definitely that Crown Royal box. More Jack Daniels, the single barrel rye, and bourbon. These are the lower proof ones. Sinatra, and then some Gentleman Jacks. Looks like it's hiding back there. Maybe some Seagrams maybe back there too. And then we got some wild turkey. That is the wild turkey I got last time there from like 2013. Some other wild turkeys that aren't quite as old. And then up there is what my eye spotted. We got an old Granddad. That label looks pretty old. So that's the one I'm gonna look down and see if we can get a good age on it, because that label looks much older than other labels I've seen lately.
Nice to meet you. Thanks so much. You're welcome, man.
And then just like last time, this is a section that's not for sale, but this is a lot of their older products. Kind of some decanters just hiding up in here. from different distilleries. Not all whiskey. Like you definitely have this wild turkey there. That is some cool stuff. I wish I could walk out with those bottles. We got some Jack Daniel's 7. I remember that from last time. Probably some other stuff that I'm missing that I just don't recognize. If you see something that's cool that is worth a shout out, definitely put it in the comments. And I will go back and look at it because I'm sure there's just a ton of stuff I am not catching. Here's that bottle that I saw at the last liquor store. I still cannot tell what it is. I might ask and see if they can give me information on it because it just looks really, really cool and old. Got the glass tanner up there. But yeah, just no idea what it is. Now there's a gem right there. That is a very cool bottle. Can't afford 2,500, but that is a very old whiskey. I can't get it myself today with that price. Now it definitely feels like this has changed up a little bit because there's some stuff here that wasn't here last time. And some things I cannot find that I saw last time. Like there's a very old Blanton's that just doesn't look like it's here anymore. I think there might have even been 2 of them, but I just do not see them this time. Like I want to say last time it was like right here is where that bourbon, that Blanton's was last time, but I just do not see it at all. Never mind, I found it. It's hiding back there behind that box. It's hiding back there, so it's still here. So just like last time, there's a ton of old whiskey all through the top shelf of this place. I'm gonna do some B-roll of it. If you see anything that catches your eye, let me know because my eyes aren't that great. Don't have all the information either, so I would definitely come back a couple more times the next year or two. So if you see anything, let me know and I'll see if I can get it next time. Now here's a bottle that I want to buy. I don't know if it's actually for sale, but that thing looks super old, especially since it's an old granddad bottle. What proof are we looking at here? It's only, oh, is that 86 proof? But that is a really old granddad that I would be interested in getting if I can. So I'm down in the cellar in the basement. I think I found the Armagnac section, and these appear to be much older than the bottles that I saw earlier. Like that 1988, that one's already much older. These just look drastically. Yeah, look at that. 1968, 1970, 1978. Just a bunch of very old Armagnac. 1929. That is super impressive. That bottle has seen things. Now over here in the Scotch section, they definitely have some nice old bottles. So you got Artbeg 25 there. I can't pronounce that. 25. Springbank 30. I think that it might be one of the top bottles in this place. I know that is a very sought after brand. It is expensive. Yeah, they just got a really, really good Scotch collection. I just wish I appreciated it more. Like here's more of the Springbanks. This is much more maybe up my alley. 12-year cask strength. Now that is about what you can get. I've heard great things about 12-year cask strength. Not a bad price too for what it is. Some other nice scotches there. Yeah, really nice Scotch collection. Okay, a little recap of that store. I wasn't able to get the old granddad that's in the clock. They said it wasn't for sale. Basically, you have to know the owner, talk to her to see if those type of items she's willing to part with. So maybe next time I'll come back and see if I can make some small talk and get to know the owner a little bit because there are some really cool bottles in there. I think that'd be a really cool interview to do if I can get her on a video. But I did walk away with this granddad, which I could tell was older than the other bottles because it has, I don't have 2 hands, but it has this kind of graphics there, and the person's a statue, which is not how the current granddad logo looks. Coming in at 86 proof here. Obviously, you'd love to get like a 114 proof, but I'm still struggling to figure out quite how old this bottle is. If you guys have any information, let me know on the back here. It says that it's distilled by the Old Grand Distilling Company, and it has Frankfurt and Claremont on there. So I'm not sure which distillery it was actually at, if it was at Frankfurt, Claremont, or maybe both of them. Because Claremont's where the current Jim Beam facility is at. The people that owned Old Grand before Jim Beam, they they distilled Frankfurt in a couple other locations. So maybe this is a mixture of the two, or it's from Frankfurt, but I'm not quite sure on that. I looked at the bottom, and even there, it is kind of hard to get some dates. To me, the most clear number I see on there is 84, right there in the corner of it. So it makes me think this might be 1984, but I'm definitely going to do more research this when I get home. I didn't have the best internet in there to try and figure out the exact age on this, but I am super excited to snag this bottle. We are at our third 4 stops on this bourbon hunting trip. We're at God, I can't pronounce it. But we gotta get some good signs here because they do have a Maker's Mark little cast out here. So that is a good sign. We are on the northern side of Italy right now, kind of near the Vatican. Just to give you guys some geography, direction, maybe orientation of where I am. But let's go ahead and jump in here and see if they got anything good. Let's see, where is this bourbon? If I was bourbon, where? Oh, I see some bourbon up there. That's wild to see that. That's an old bottle. That's from my neighborhood over in Virginia, suburb of DC. That is a local family-owned distillery. They actually share my last name, Harris, but we're not related at all. But that is really cool to see. That's a very, very old bottle. They do not make it in that size bottle anymore. Got some Jefferson Oceans. Woodford batch proof. That is wild to see here. That definitely is sitting in the United States, but I did not expect to see that over here in Europe. Got some Rebel Yell. I have never seen that label for. Small batch reserve. Now, what type of Elijah Craig barrel proof do we have here? C921. That might be coming home with me. How much? Yeah, 122. That's a little much because you have 10%, so that's about 130 something for Elijah Craig barrel proof. Some more Eagle Rare here. What price? 54. Very comparable to the other places we've seen. Michter's. Larceny, more Knob Creek. What is this? Montana straight whiskey. Never seen that before. I have seen a lot more labels here that I do not recognize. I think there are some labels that are specific for Europe. Typically they're like a lot younger. Like I've seen some bottles that are like 4 under years, and they seem kind of just knockoff brands that are maybe just for this area. You can sell the Wild Wild West of America, and we got some Sazerac Rye, Rare Breed. I think that's the same bottle as America. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about non-chill filtered, like it does some international, but it does come with that tube. You can't really see it. So if you like tubes or boxes, that would be an interesting bottle to get here. But I'm pretty sure it's the same stuff. Like the proof looks the same. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the same proof as the American version. Then here's a bottle I was not expecting to see either. We got a Wild Turkey Warehouse B from 2022. Now we are going to start seeing a lot more of those international. Wild Turkey did say that that is now going to be an international only release or at the distillery. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of those internationally and not so much in your neck of the woods in the United States. So if that's a bottle you want, definitely snag it before it disappears. Got some Long Branch, more Wild Turkey, the Russells, some Overholt, your Bullets, your Maker's Marks, some more Jack, Wild Turkey. A lot of stuff we saw at the other places. I don't miss it there, but there's a bottle hiding, a little Buffalo Trace there in the corner. So you also got Buffalo Trace here if you're looking for it. And then like most things here in Italy, there's just a much bigger Scotch selection that I just cannot comprehend, but I'm sure there's some nice rare gems in here somewhere. Found more of their higher end purity scotches up here. 36-year-old, that's almost a grand, look at that, 980, 25-year-old Balvenie. Older scotches, a 25-year Park bag that we saw the other place, 1,600. Something in a box. I feel like boxes always mean something nice, right? Right? That's how it works. Got Johnny Walker, 41-year-old scotch. Man, some Arneck from 1933. Holy cow. And some other stuff here in the bottom. Okay, so the coolest thing we saw in there was probably the Rare Breed in the tube, but I just don't really need a tube. That doesn't really carry much significance to me, so I don't think it's worth buying a whole Rare Breed just for the tube, because it looks like it's the same proof as is in America. But that's probably the coolest thing there, along with, again, I'm shocked how much we're seeing Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare, but very clean store. Nice little store if you want to stop by in the area. But let's go on to our final store and see if we can get another nice bottle. Okay, we are at our final stop here on this burning hunting trip. We are now in the northern part of Italy, very northern than probably most tourists go. But let's go ahead and see what they got in here. Fingers crossed there's something good for our final stop. If I was bourbon, where would I be? Bourbon? Yeah. There. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's see what we got here in the bourbon section. Got some Elijah Craig right there, Angel's Envy, Long Branch. Yeah, Bullet, a lot of the same stuff. That looks like an old Knob Creek rye, though. Wow. $50 or 50 euros. But that looks super old. I might get that down. Look at the age on it. So I grabbed the Knob Creek rye to give a closer look at it. You can tell, like, they got the old wax on the top here. That stuff was a pain to get off back in the day. I don't see an age on it. Like, I'm looking at the bottom here. I don't see any indentions. They have this laser code, but I can't make it out. I'm not seeing anything on the tax stamp either. Distilled and bottled by Knob Creek Distillery, Claremont, Kentucky. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is old or not. Or, oh, I know it's old. I just don't know how old it is. Is this something you'd get? Giving how it looks old, but you can't quite figure it out. I'm always in a tough spot with that because at the end of the day, it is only 100 proof. And if it's not that old, it's not going to taste that much different. But if you can get something that's like 20 years older than what it is today, you're definitely going to tell a difference. Okay, after doing a little more research on Google on this line was introduced in 2012. So it can't be that old, like maybe only 12 years at the max. Like this is one of the first bottles to come out, 12, 13. So I'm going to pass on it being only 12 years old. But I guess if you're a Jim Beam fan, history, this might be a cool bottle to own, but it's just not quite dusty enough, even though there's a lot of dust on there for me. Michter's, Buffalo Trace again, about the same price, 29. Woodford, let's see. Again, always you got your Jack Daniels. Will not see a store that does not have Jack Daniels. It's a rare breed again, 55 euros. Same proof, 116. It's hard paying for just basically a tube. I'll show you guys the tube here so you guys can see it better. But it's pretty. Like, it's a nice tube. Yeah, it's, nice little gold plating there. Rare breed, 70 CLs, which I think is 70 milliliters, 700 milliliters. Same proof, 116.8, 4 level char. But yeah, it's an overall, like, it's a nice tube. Like, am I really going to be buying a bottle just for a tube? Like, I have this same stuff home. At least I'm pretty sure it's the same exact whiskey. And it's like, I don't know if it's worth buying just for a tube, to be honest. I wonder how this got here, because it says it's for the UK market, but we are in Italy right now. So I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if it's an EU thing or what, but that's kind of interesting. Once again, as always, we have our Scotch section here. It looks like it's pretty standard stuff. I'm not seeing anything super old or aged. But again, you have your Scotch if you're interested. Yeah, so at the end of the day, didn't get anything there. I don't think the Knob Creek wire was old enough, and I'm not buying rare breed just for the tube, so didn't get anything there. That is my bourbon hunting here in Italy. I did get the one old Granddad bottle, which I'll bring out again because I think it's really cool. But I got this nice old Granddad here, so it's not a lost trip. But this is a really cool bottle that I am excited to have and can't wait to open and try it. As I was riding those Lime scooters up and down the road, a little bit of a whiskey did come out of the crack here. It's not broken, but I could feel it, and I was able to get a little bit on my fingertips, smell it, taste it. It tastes amazing. I cannot wait to open this thing. Super excited for this. But my tip for you guys coming to Italy is do not bourbon hunt. You are not gonna find crazy bottles. I did some even day trips out to the countryside, and they didn't even have Jack Daniels. So do not come in here hunting for bourbon. Just enjoy the local culture, have some wine, have some Aperol spritz, and just enjoy it and save the bourbon when you get back to America. But I hope you found this entertaining. I hope you found it informational if you ever come here and do want to try and do the bourbon hunt. But until next time, if you're enjoying this content, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any future videos, and check out this video, other hunting videos. Until next time, cheers.